we were never really considering Ryan passing away, even up until the last couple of days. And always focused on what we were going to do to counter the fungus and working with him on a number of issues clinically and medically. But on the evening of the 14th of August, it certainly comes to my memory as being a very special night, not only because close to his passing away, but my sister, who had been a huge support Marine, was with us, and Miriam's mom was with us, and Ryan. We our normal dinner activities, and we sat down, and Miriam's mom started singing just beautiful classical songs, vocally. She has a wonderful voice, and Miriam's mom had never done that before. And Ryan had had a lot of discomfort. 2 days before, his respiratory issues had started to fail a little bit, and wasn't getting a lot of sleep. And I'll never forget sitting on the near the window in his room, hearing this wonderful, beautiful voice singing classical music. And as we got ready to tuck him in, we sat down and read Psalms 91. And I put on some classical music, which I'd never really done before. We played classical music through the night. 2 o'clock that night, he woke up and he just started to get his appetite back. And he asked me for a cup of noodles, and over a cup of noodles, and we were watching Ninja Turtles. He got a chance to start eating. But when I woke up that morning, on the 15th, I went through my normal routine, and one of them is to fill out a breakfast card, and I still have it. It's Ryan Snacks and has his number there. And before I read him Psalms 91, I listed out kind of some praises about what it was going to take for Ryan to get healed. And it really was over two issues. It was I was praying for outright healing to astound the medical community and nation, because he was, at that point, the doctors were talking about miracles. That was the one thing, for God to give him an outright healing. The second thing was a complete recovery, which would require his electrolytes becoming imbalanced because they were way out of alignment, reduced swelling in his belly, normal internal organ function, significant increase in blood counts, elimination of the fungus completely, and then a strong remission, which wasn't even being considered at that time, but that's what it was going to take. Then after the remission, we had to find an optimal donor. Thankfully, we had 2 donors for him, because in his diagnosis after relapse, he went right into a bone marrow transplant. Then he had a successful bone marrow transplant, which was not going to be a layup, successful recuperation, and then a complete recovery, and then a return to family. And I wrote that, and then I read him for the last time Psalms 91. And, really all the poems that he has said, Blue Skies, I Will Not Doubt, Psalms 91, they become our prayers now. He has won. He's won the victory. And I just like to read it. Because it's important, and it was integral in Ryan's last couple weeks. God, our protector, he who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in him I will trust. Surely he shall deliver you from the snare of the fowler, and from the perilous pestilence. He shall cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you shall take refuge. His truth shall be your shield and buckler. You shall not be afraid of the terror by night, nor of the arrow that flies by day, nor of the pestilence that walks in darkness, nor of the destruction that lays waste at noonday. 1,000 may fall at your side, and 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not come near you. Only with your eyes shall you look and see the reward of the wicked. Because you have made the Lord, who is my refuge, even the Most High, your dwelling place. No evil shall befall you, nor shall any plague come near your dwelling, for he shall give his angels charge over you and keep you in all your ways. In their hands they shall bear you up, lest you dash your foot against a stone. You shall tread upon the lion and the cobra, the young lion and the serpent you shall trample underfoot. Because he has set his love upon me, therefore I will deliver him, and set him on high, because he has known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble, and I will deliver him and honor him. With long life I will satisfy him and show him my salvation. It's a wonderful psalm, and we were just relying on those words greatly in this last couple of days, and they become our prayers, and that's what we have to focus on greatly. And that's hard to get out now. It's the first time I've read it in a while, obviously, but the way God had his hand in that morning, I know was God's provision. That morning, a brand new nurse came in who I'd never seen before. She wasn't a floater, but she was brand new, but never had to deal with Ryan on a daily basis. The respiratory therapist that came in that morning was brand new. And Miriam called me about 10 o'clock and said, "How was your night?" And I shared with her that, we had a wonderful, we had cup of noodles that morning at 2, and things are going great. Come on down. He was doing fine. And in the 20 minutes it took for me to say, "Come on down," Ryan was gone. And what happened in that last 10 minutes was, to me, I look out upon it today as a wonderful source of God's love. Um, we had respiratory therapy was working with him, and he started to fail, before my eyes. And what I saw was just complete peace, complete comfort, and no fear. And I had the distinct opportunity to watch my firstborn and my only son, fade away and be with God. And there was three things going on in my mind as that was happening, and the three things I'll never forget were going through my mind were, it was like, "Go, buddy, go," because he'd suffered and it was time. "Go, buddy, but go, and God's will be done, and let it be God's will." And then knowing that the power of Jesus can rise him up, heal him up, bring him up right now, let him take that next breath. Let's get back on track. And it was very obvious in that 10 minutes that he wasn't going to come back. And a sense of peace came over me that I can't explain, but I know I'm going to see him again. I knew that second I was going to see him again, and I had no doubt that he was with God at that very moment. And he just slept away, and he was beautiful, I guess is the only thing I can say. And the next thing I had to consider was, well, Miriam's going to drive up here in 5 minutes. What am I going to do here? I mean, literally 20 minutes before we're saying, "Come on down." So I went down and met her, and shared with her in the parking lot that Ryan was gone. And I just cannot reiterate just God's peace at that moment, which was just unconvincingly there and obviously evident, and has provided a lot of solace to me greatly. We had, in the week prior to Ryan's passing, we had a good conversation over gummy bears about salvation. And about 4 or 5 days before Ryan passed away, we had talked about salvation and what it meant to go to heaven. And he knew he was sick. We had started doing a thing with a balloon where talking about God's, just like air, God's always there, where I'd blow up a balloon and talk about, you can't see air just like you can't see God, but there's a lot of power in air. If you blow up a balloon where you can't see your breath, but you blow it up and then you let it go, that balloon goes all over the place. And just like air, God's always there. He knew he was a saved young man, and you could just see it in his demeanor, in his character, and his complete constitution. Just exuded God's love, and obviously it was a blessing to us.